I created a 3D printable enclosure for the Raspberry Pi CM4 IO board. It's got a lot of cool features like a snap fit lid, perfectly aligned IO ports, and a duct to guide air if you're using active cooling. There is one more feature which I think is the coolest, but before we get to that, I'd like to ask you a favor. Hey, I could really use your feedback on these videos. If at any point you find something cool or extremely boring, just let me know down in the comments. I try to bring my best to the table for these videos, but I could use your feedback. Thanks. A CM4 is like a Raspberry Pi 4, but in a much more compact form. It's great for embedded devices where size is a constraint, but the only way to interface with it is very small 100-pin connectors. Luckily, the Raspberry Pi Foundation also released a companion to the CM4, the IO board. It's a place to attach the CM4 so that you can use things like Ethernet or USB. The downside of the IO board is that it's just a board. It doesn't have a home. That's why I designed this enclosure in the first place. Up until now, I've been using this minimal solution, which I'll link in the description. The board mounts to it via 4 threaded inserts and 4 M2.5 screws. The minimal mount is what inspired me to design this full case. While it did its job, I didn't like how the bottom and top were both open, ready to be shorted out or ESD'd at any time. So I got to work. Starting with the base, it's got 12 screw holes on the bottom. 4 are the IO board mounts, 4 are for a Raspberry Pi hat, and 4 are for the CM4. On the sides are openings for the 2 HDMI, Ethernet, 2 USB and micro USB ports, the micro SD card slot, and the DC barrel jack. The other sides have openings for the 2 ribbon cable HDMI and 2 ribbon cable camera ports. On the back side are also openings I created for an external power supply unit and for an optional UFL antenna connector. On top is an opening for the standard 40 Raspberry Pi pins to be accessed along with a stylish fan guard which echoes the shape of the CM4 right below it. On the underside of the fan guard is a small extrusion that helps to guide air out of the case rather than circulating around it. Of course, as I mentioned, the lid is snap fit. This was definitely one of the more challenging parts of the design, as I'd never done it before. If you're interested in seeing how I rapidly prototyped the snap design, or just how the design works in general, let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to make another video about it. Now, the absolute coolest feature of this case I keep referring to is that it's open source. By the time this video is posted, I will have uploaded both the finalized STL files and the step file to printables.com. Link in the description. If you're not familiar with step files, they basically let you go in and tweak the design. Say you don't like the top of the case, you can get rid of the openings, add more openings, or even add text to it to personalize it. Maybe you're not planning on using the ribbon cable ports, you can go in and cover them up. Most importantly, you can customize the recesses for the threaded inserts so that you can use whatever insert you have. You could also add your own mounting solution to fit whatever context you have your IO board in. If you end up printing this design, then add a make to the printables page. I think it would be so cool to see someone else print this. Also, feel free to add your remixes to printables as well. I'm a novice designer and have a lot to learn, so I'm sure the step file isn't the best and that the enclosure could be designed better. I had a lot of fun putting this small project together, and I'm excited to get a Minecraft server up and running on my CM4. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment. I'd love your feedback so that I can continue to improve my videos and bring my best to the table. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.